Hey, I'm KJ Delantonia, and this is a special interstitial episode of the hashtag Am Writing podcast. Hashtag Am Writing is always the weekly podcast with relentlessly helpful advice about writing all the things, short things, long things, memoir, fiction, nonfiction, pitches, proposals. We're the podcast about sitting down and getting your work done. And the reason that I am here today with my temporary stand-in co-host, Jennie Nash, is because we're doing a special summer Get That Work Done project called the Blueprint for a Book Challenge. So, hey, say hello to the people, Jennie.
Hi, people. We're excited to be talking about this challenge. It's something that we cooked up because why did we cook this up?
Well, last summer we had a great time talking about writing books, and we did 10 episodes, and each one of them we picked a topic and we grabbed the books that we thought were the best ones on that topic, and we argued about which one was the best book, and people loved it and we loved it. And this year I ended up relying on the Blueprint for a Book a lot in writing a draft for my third book, and you at the same time were working on the blueprint for a nonfiction book, and we were like, we really want to share the blueprint exercises with the Am Writing audience, but it's not something you can't just do one episode. And so we came up with this idea where we would go through the entire blueprint over the course of 10 episodes. And then, being us, we ramped it up a notch.
Yes, we did. So I was just laughing about cooking things up because we tend to do that whenever we talk. It's quite dangerous, but this is really a fun thing that we have designed for the summer. So it's a challenge. It's a 10-part challenge. We have 10 episodes that walk you through the blueprint exercises, and this can be for memoir, fiction of any kind, or nonfiction of any kind. We have a blueprint that will guide you through any one of those genres, and the 10 steps correlate to the 10 podcast episodes that we have ready, and we challenge you.
Yes.
We're throwing down a challenge.
Yeah. So if you're a regular listener, you'll still get it's still going to be a regular podcast episode, and it's still going to be great. You're going to learn about different basic steps to create the structure of a book. But if you want to play along, you can actually do the steps, because every week we're going to give you an assignment. And if you sit down and you do the assignment, and it'll be a totally realistic, doable summer thing. And if you're going to travel, you could work ahead, you can look and or you can make it up. You can stick with this. And if you do, at the end of the summer, you're going to have a solid foundation for your project. Or if you're already in the middle of a project, you're going to have a solid foundation for revising it. So you can go into fall, which is yay, the writing season, ready, right?
That's right. And the steps, we did orchestrate the steps so that they're summer doable. We totally get that people have kids home, vacations. Hopefully you're doing fun things. And there's only really 1 week that's a little tough. But the good news is that if you hit every deadline with something, it doesn't have to be perfection, just something. You meet the challenge, and then there's time at the end to clean it up should you want to do that.
Yeah. So the deal is you listen along and you're with us just like you usually are. But if you want to actually play, then you go and you sign up. I lost the link, Jennie. It's Okay.
It's authoraccelerator.com/Am Writing Blueprint Challenge. And there's no hashtag there. It's just words. authoraccelerator.com/Am Writing Blueprint Challenge.
I don't think URLs like hashtags.
No.
I don't think you can put that in there. So you sign up, and you'll get the weekly email about what the assignment is, and then you'll get a place to drop a response to the assignment. And like Jennie says, it doesn't have to be perfect. The goal is that every week you do something towards the assignment, and if you do that, A, you get the reward of having done it, which yay, that's why we're here, and B, We give you some prizes, which is that you're entered to win a critique from one of us of the blueprint that you made. And also you can come to an Ask Me Anything that we're going to have. And yeah,
And we
that's
will
the
know.
deal.
That's the key part.
We
We will
will.
know if you submit or not. We're watching.
Mhm.
We've got our background bots checking on you when you submit.
Yeah.
So we will know, but we're not looking at what you submit.
Right. So it's not like we're going to be like, well, sure, you submitted a Y for your book, but that's crap. So yeah, no, not like that. And this whole thing comes from this group that I was a part of. What? Oh my God, it's 20 years ago. It's 20 years ago now. So I was a part of this group that I'm pretty sure came out of Salon, which was a website back in the day, and I think is kind of vaguely still around. But they had some of the first um, like Slack like groups in the internet. You go in and you chat with people. And I was in one, and the whole thing was that you had to write, I think it was 5,000 words a week. So you had to write 5,000 words a week, and you had to submit them to this spreadsheet. And all that the spreadsheet, or really probably the person behind the spreadsheet, did was count. They didn't look to like you could write, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy enough times to be 5,000 words, and they would have bought that. I mean, they're kind of defeating the purpose for you, but they wouldn't have complained. Or you could suck out 5,000 words from something else and shove it in if you wanted to cheat. So you could cheat, but if you weren't cheating, you had to write 5,000 words a week. And if you didn't write, you got thrown out, and you couldn't come back until the group started up again. And I think it was I don't remember if it was a month or 3 months or whatever, but the terror of being actually thrown out of the group was so motivating. So that's what we were trying to recreate, is this idea that you have, join us, do this thing, and give us something, because that's going to make you keep going, right?
Yeah, and the thing that I have learned about accountability, and I know you know about accountability, KJ, is that there is nothing like accountability. Like when you're on deadline for your agent or your editor or publishing deadline, you're going to hit that deadline. And the same is true. We make an artificial accountability when you're working with the book coach, but you're paying, and it's the actual paying that makes it, puts meat to the bones of that threat, if you will. Like if you don't meet your deadline, you lose your money. You don't get the feedback. You don't get that coach's attention on your work. And I found it to be just really important to a lot of writers. It's hard to hold ourselves accountable. It's I don't know why. I'm not a psychologist or a scientist, but I noticed that it's true. And so part of this is the accountability matters. We know that it works. We want you to feel it, and feel it in a fun summer way, though. So
Yeah.
it's not that hard.
Yeah, I'm exploring like how to keep this going in the fall, and there will be things, but yeah, we want to make a fun summer version of it. But it's just like in your book, if you're writing fiction or memoir, there has to be something at stake,
Oh,
right?
that's
So
exactly
yeah,
it.
if
Yep.
you don't meet the weekly deadline with something, then you're out. You can still keep going. You still get the episodes, and you should, like, don't. But if you meet the weekly deadline, you'll feel really good, and you might win a critique, and you get to come chat with us in some kind of an Ask Me Anything. And also, I mean, we will just bow down and be so. Maybe we'll read your name. I don't know. Yeah.
That's true. And there is an
There may be one of
opportunity.
you. I don't know. We may be saying shout out to the one person who managed, and that would, then you would be the one. Like, yeah.
No,
We
people
hope
are going
no.
to do
There will be
this.
more. There's lots of people already signed up, and you're all gonna get through it. You're all gonna get through it.
I was going to say people need to do this to show KJ that she can make a button a chair club at the hashtag I'm writing podcast,
That's
because
right.
that would make her happy.
It would
We
make me
also
happy.
we also have an opportunity, if folks want to get feedback on their blueprints, to sign up to get that from one of our Author Accelerator certified coaches. And I love this part of the challenge, because that's somebody's going to be paying attention to your words, to your story, to your outline, to all the things that you've done in these challenges. And people often ask me, what's the best time to work with a book coach? Or if I don't have very much money, when should I hire a book coach? And I always say unequivocally at the start of your project. If you could just get professional eyes on your project before you write your manuscript, you're likely to save yourself many iterations, much anxiety, many months of work. And this is an opportunity to do that, to have somebody who's trained to see the holes in the plot, ask the questions about the logic and the character, really prod you to think about making it better before you start to write. And so this coaching part of the challenge is totally optional. You can still do the challenge whether or not you sign up for the coaching, but it is available. We have coaches standing by. We actually do.
Also, you get this free set of knives.
Right? The coaches actually love this. It's so much fun to review blueprints, and because you just, everything's there and it's just like boom, boom, boom. Look at this, look at that. What about this? Did you think about that? It's so rich and fun in a short period of time. You can really make a lot of progress. So they're all really looking forward to it, and we hope folks will sign up for that.
And speaking as someone who's sort of done it both ways, like written the book and then been coached, and also worked with somebody at the beginning, and that's kind of part of what you get once you have an editor and an agent and you're a professional. The best way to take advantage of that, which I don't always do, is to talk to these people about the idea before you put 40,000 words into it. And you will hate them, because here you are with this shiny, amazing idea that if only they could just see is really, truly brilliant. And they're sitting there going, I don't know, like maybe that doesn't have enough, I'm not sure there's enough at stake there. And I don't know that I believe in that character, their motivation. But man, to fix those problems, which I guarantee you they're going to tell you at the end of the draft, just as much as they are at the beginning before you've written anything, to fix those problems at the beginning, it really does work so much better, even though it's painful, and B, you're sitting there arguing. You're like, well, but when I write it, it's going to be fine. Like when I write this book in which not very much happens, everybody's going to love it anyway because I'm Ann Tyler, and you're probably not. And I don't even
you'd
love
already
it.
know if you were.
Yeah, I think you'd know, and I don't even love it. I mean, I prefer her books in which things happen personally. But anyway, it's the best possible time to, and also the best time is now, because this totally works for revision. In fact, I am seriously prone to only using, no, I do it both. I'm a good girl. I blueprint both times, but blueprinting for revision is the best, because then you have, or it's the second best, I don't know, but then you have, whatever you have, and you're like holding it up to, it's kind of like maybe you have like a cutout of a skeleton and you're like holding it up and you're like, dang, there's nothing in the belly part. It's like,
I got caught by one of our coaches for not blueprinting my blueprint book. I was working on the blueprint for a nonfiction book, and I did that thing we all do. I'm like, I got this. I know what I'm writing. I teach this all the time. I've been using this framework for 12 years. I don't need to blueprint the blueprint book. Come on. So I wrote the manuscript, and I hired a book coach, and thinking I could skip over that part. And I gave it to her, and she was like, what are you doing? Like, you haven't answered this question. You haven't answered that question. You didn't do the fundamental work, and it shows, and you got to fix it. And, I instantly was like, oh yeah, right. I mean,
and she's going to show up in episode 6.
10. Oh, I thought it was 10.
Oh, 10. Was it 10?
I don't know.
I don't remember if it's, anyway, in one of the episodes she shows up, and she
does. And so yeah, doing the blueprint is, and I'm thinking about a new book, and I learned my lesson. I'm doing the blueprint with one of our coaches, and I just had my first session with her, and I was very angry because she asked a question, and that puts the entire project at risk. Like I might not do it because of her question. And I was very displeased, but displeased in a way that you want to get this pain out of the way first.
You really do. And once you feel like you have these things, whether it's before you write a word or after you've written a draft, but before you revise again. I don't know. It's just a different feeling. The project that I'm working on right now, it's got a pretty solid structure blueprint wise across the board, finally. Because the sad truth is that you'll have a great structure at the end of this, but then you'll have to keep going back. And yeah, we shouldn't even tell you that, should we? It'll be great. You're practically finished when you finish the blueprint. You don't have to go back and do it 3 or 4 more times to get everything right. Anyway, my point is, like, I know, especially the theme of this book, like I could put it on a Post-it note and stick it on my computer, like whatever that writer is that says that and it does help. Like every time I'm like, yep, back to this, back to this, back to that. Like I know why I'm writing this and what I want the reader to get from it. And it just changes everything. It's great. So
It is great. We're very excited about this
we
summer
really
challenge.
are. Can you tell?
I know. We would love to have you join us, and at any one of the levels that you can swing with your summer. And the website that will be in the show notes shows you all the details and answers all the questions. And if it doesn't answer all the questions, we have a link on there where you can shoot us an email, and we will answer the question.
Yes. So sign up, join in, listen along, blueprint your book. If you can't do it this summer, listen anyway, bookmark the episodes, come back and do it later, because it's going to be great.
It is going to be great.